Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com, courtesy of ProWrestling.com. I'm James Walsh, joined as always by Daniel Edler with our special guest, Zach Gowen. Zach, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing real good, actually. I'm at the Chinese buffet right now with the technical messiah, Alex Shelley. We're indulging in a Sunday night dinner.
Cool. Well, of course, our show is called the Interactive Interview, and we take questions from the fans. And of course, the most common question that we've been getting asked is, of course, you were just released recently from the WWE. Everybody wants to know the reasons behind the release.
Well, I guess they had nothing for me. I was sitting out for a good 4 months since I got knocked out in October, and creative had nothing for me, so they decided to let me go.
You're with, debuted with IWA, Mid-South
Right.
the other night. Have you got any other bookings coming up? And if any promoters that are listening to the show say they want to get you on their show, how can they go about contacting you?
Sure. Well, you can contact me through email. My email is tenaciouszach@AOL.com. My website is zwrestling.com. You can get that off the website. And the next show I'm booked on for right now is March 21st in downtown Detroit at St. Andrews Hall. It's the Brawl for Braxton show, which is a benefit show for a good friend of mine, Yukon Braxton, who passed away a little over a year ago. So that's going to be a big show in St. Andrews Hall in Detroit. And you can go to iwrwrestling.com and get all the info for that. And it should be a good show, and that's what I have for next.
Excellent. In the statement that Jim Ross released on the WWE.com, basically addressing all of the releases and the rumours on the internet, he said that he thinks that in the future he would like to see you back in the WWE, but Poncho Jones, listener Poncho Jones, would like to know, was there any bad blood between you and WWE upon your release?
No, not at all. And if they want me back, I'd be happy to go back. I think it was a combination of me getting there a little too early. I was like something like 8 months into the business when I got signed. And I honestly I wasn't ready for it physically, mentally either. So hopefully I'll go back to the Indies and get some more experience, be a little more well-rounded wrestler, and hopefully if I have my cards right, I'll be back.
The story that's been shared on the internet and on TV is that you met Hulk Hogan right after your surgery. Could you share a little bit of information on the meeting with Hogan?
No, that never happened, actually. That's actually Mike Tenay down in NWA TNA made up that story for me on air. It sounded like a pretty good story to me, so I went along with it, but that really never happened.
Wow, that's surprising. I had no idea that was the truth. Wow.
That was from Mike Tenay's creative brain, I guess.
Just one of the questions that was submitted a lot, along with the WWE release questions and a couple later on, was what caused the doctors to feel that amputation was the best solution?
I'm sorry?
What caused doctors to feel that amputation was the best solution?
Well, when they finally discovered that cancer, the tumor in my leg had already progressed too far along to save my leg, so the only choice I had was basically to amputate the leg, or if we didn't do that, then it would have spread to my lungs and eventually would have killed me. So that was our only course of action.
At what point in your life did you actually decide that wrestling was something that you wanted to get involved with?
Well, I've always been a big fan growing up and whatnot. I've always been a huge wrestling mark. I decided to get into it like probably freshman year of high school. When I saw like the smaller guys like Rey Mysterio and guys like that come on TV and tear it up, and I thought, well, I'm kind of a small guy and I can flip around a little bit, so maybe I can do this,
Who trained you for wrestling?
I was trained here in Detroit by Truth Martini, who happens to have a wrestling school still going on right now. You can go to that website, www.hotwrestling.net, and get all the info there. It's the best wrestling school in Michigan, and I highly recommend it.
Of course, when you went in for training, I've read a story that you're the only one-leg wrestler in basically the indie scene today. So when you went in for your training originally, how did the trainers and other students react?
Well, the trainers were fine. The guy running the school I went to, he was a little cautious about me letting me wrestle or whatever, and I told him I could do it, and I signed the release, and I paid my money, so he really had no choice but to let me get in the ring. And once I got in the ring, I showed him what I could do, and he said, come back. So I came back.
Has discrimination ever been a problem for you?
Not really, actually. Only when it comes to girls, dude. Like, in high school, like, I was told so many times that, you'd be cute if you had two legs, so... So, other than that, it hasn't really been a problem.
Wow. You made your pro debut in March of 2002. Any memories from that match?
Yeah, I wrestled Truth Martini, the guy who trained me in that first match, and it was in front of about 17 people, and 13 of those people were my friends and family. So, and I was extremely nervous for it, but we put on like a hell of a match. Like I just watched that match back a few days ago, and for a first match, it was pretty damn good, So I'm a part of that actually.
Of course, many fans first got a chance to see you with NWA TNA, as we talked about a little earlier. What is your opinions of the way that company is run?
Well, when I was there, I liked it a lot. I haven't seen it in the past couple of weeks, but a couple of my buddies are down there. Chris Sabin's down there tearing it up. So, it's good for him. It's a good opportunity for guys who aren't in the WWE, and it's good for the smaller guys too with their X division. I like the way that's going. So, it's a pretty entertaining company.
Any chance you go back?
Yeah, there's a chance I'd go back, sure. Never say never in wrestling, I guess. But I haven't talked to him as of yet, so we'll see what happens.
When we had BG James on the show, he basically took some credit for you getting looked at by the WWE due to the quality of the match that you had with him. But how was BG to work with?
Oh, he was fun. He was lots of fun. Actually, I wasn't even scheduled to work him, because I worked the dark match the week before with Truth Martini, and the next week they flew me and Truth down to work the same match, basically, except on pay-per-view. And when I got there, they changed it up at the last minute to me and BG James, so, we didn't have a lot of time to go over the match or whatever, but, it was a quick match, and I got some stuff in, and it was a lot of fun to work with. We're professional.
Did Truth actually do anything on that night in the end?
No, they flew him down, and he just sat on the sidelines, and they haven't called him back, which I don't understand why. The guy's awesome, but hopefully he'll get a look soon, and cause he's certainly a tremendous talent, and he's really good, so we'll see what happens.
When you actually signed for WWE, TNA posted a message basically wishing you well to follow your dreams, but how much of a dream come true was it when you got the call and was eventually signed by WWE?
It was awesome. I didn't expect it at all. I was pretty content working for TNA, and they called me out of the blue and asked me to sign. I signed, and it was certainly a dream come true. And it was I had nothing but great memories working for those guys.
When they brought you in, they cited you in a big storyline with Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Vince McMahon. How did those guys react to you being part of that angle?
Oh, those guys were certainly professional, and they were very kind, and Hogan took me under his wing for a while, and he taught me some stuff, and, those guys were excellent to work with. Nobody really, discriminated against me or told me, I don't want to work with you or whatever, so, everybody's really cool, though.
Reader from the 3SW forums, RSBH123, would like to know what your memories of the skit, the angle with Sable backstage where she kind of straddled you. And how much did you really enjoy it? Come on, how much did you really enjoy it?
I think she enjoyed it a little more than I did. I think she kept messing up on purpose to keep kissing me, but no, I'm kidding. No, that was a lot of fun because I grew up watching Sable, and certainly I've had many sexual fantasies about Sable, so it was certainly a nice little surprise to have from when I came in that night.
Will you be picking up the latest Playboy edition?
I will, actually. I will. I have a subscription. I already got it, and the pages are sticking together, so that's obviously good for me.
the WWE career you had, how does it feel knowing that you have a win against the behemoth known as the Big Show?
It was awesome, and he was, and people don't know about the Big Show, but like he's like one of the coolest guys I've ever met, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and it was so much fun working him, and that was my first match I had for them, and it was awesome, man. I have nothing but good things to say about him.
Listener Dennis A would like to know your memories of working Vince McMahon in a match.
Me and Vince, wow, that was, talk about pressure, you know what I mean, going against the boss, and one of the main events review, lots of pressure doing that, but as far as the match went, I thought it went about as good as it could go, you know, with my limitations, and with Vince obviously not being a full-time wrestler and being, you know, up there in age or whatever, like I thought it was great. I was scared for my life though when I broke him open. Like he wasn't supposed to like bleed everywhere like he did, but you know, and that's what happens in a match. And he was so unprofessional about it, and he liked it. So I mean, if the boss liked it, then I liked it. You know, so I thought it was pretty good.
Did the fact that he was busted open make the match end earlier than it was supposed to, or no?
Not that I remember. I remember like busting him open and looking at all the blood and thinking, oh, we gotta hurry up. And I kind of hurried up towards the end, but no, it ended like it was supposed to, I guess.
Mm-hmm. After Hogan left as Mr. America, do you feel that Hogan leaving hurt your character at all?
A little bit, actually. Yeah, I was disappointed, you know, because it kind of left me high and dry with nothing to, you know, because like I was Hogan's buddies, and when Hogan left, like a month after I came, it left me with nothing but Vince, you know, and I guess the eventual storyline was to work to Vince, but not right away, you know what I mean? Try to build my character up first, then work to Vince, which would have been a lot better, but, you know, stuff happens and you just got to deal with it, and, you know, I did what I did.
Two questions now submitted by ECW, aka Paul Clark. He wants to know, in an act which was actually cut from British television, and I know that myself, when Brock Lesnar pushed you down the stairs in a wheelchair. What are your thoughts about that?
I kind of like that because I didn't take the bump. they hired some stunt guy who kind of looked like me to take the bump, so that was an easy night for me.
And the second question from Paul is, of course, you had a feud with Matt Hardy, culminating with the win at No Mercy via the moonsault. He said his question is, how were Matt and Shannon both to work with?
Matt is awesome, man. I don't think he gets enough credit he deserves. Matt's been around forever, and I definitely learned a lot from Matt. You know, the guy is such an awesome character and such an awesome worker. You know, he should be like at the top. In my opinion, he should be at the top right now. You know what I mean, or towards the top anyway.
Agreed.
He's certainly a tremendous talent, and I had a lot of fun working him. And Shannon's awesome too. They're both really cool guys too. They both looked after me when I got there, and you know, so I mean, they know their stuff, and you know, good things happen to them, I bet.
Mm-hmm. All right, you mentioned your last television match against Tajiri. First of all, you had mentioned you got knocked out. Is that legitimate, or? Yeah,
that was at the end when I got pinned, and then Dakota and Yang came in and gave me the double STO. Just knocked me. I've never been knocked out like that in a match before. Like, I don't really have much memory of that, but I remember watching it on tape, and it looked pretty gruesome, you know. So I mean, that was the last time I was at TV. So, you know, that's what happened.
When you were there, I mean, did you realize that would be your last appearance for a while?
No. I thought I'd be back within a couple weeks, but you know, never called, and I don't know. I really don't know what happened.
Mark Pickering wants to know, how did you enjoy doing the angle with Brock Lesnar where he broke your leg in two places, and you know, the blade job and everything there? How did you enjoy that?
That was awesome. That was awesome. They turned Brock like a couple weeks before. They turned him heel, and they fed Spanky the week before to him, and he ate Spanky up pretty good. And I kind of knew it was coming in for me, considering it was my hometown, and they were talking about it. But I was happy to at least, you know, try to get Brock over, and that night I did. So I did my job, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
And of course, I mean, since you won that match by DQ, that means you've also got, as well as having a win over Big Show, you've also got a win over, you know, Brock Lesnar.
And not many people can say that, you know, so it's a pretty cool accomplishment.
Just speaking of Brock Lesnar, will you be watching the No Way Out broadcast tonight?
Yeah. Actually, I'm on my way to Hooters right now with the old lady. We're gonna enjoy some fine wings and watch watch Eddie and Brock. I'm looking forward to that, you know, because Eddie's a big inspiration to me. He's certainly one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and Brock's awesome as well. So it should be a tremendous match.
If you had to put your money on someone tonight, who would it be?
I'd go with Eddie, actually. I'd like to see Eddie win that. It's been a long time coming, and he's overcome a lot in his life, you know, and he's such a great guy, and he's such a great wrestler. I think it's Eddie's time.
Mark Pickering also wants to know, how did you enjoy your time in OVW when you weren't on WWE television?
OVW was cool, man. Cause I went down there for a few weeks. I got to work out with, you know, some of the guys they have down there, and those guys are really good. Danny Davis is been around forever. He knows his stuff, and Trip Rogers, same thing. And it was fun working with Jim Cornette. You know, Jim Cornette's a really great guy, and he's got a great mind for the business. So it was nice working with those guys. It was definitely a learning experience, and I'm happy I went. And
Paul Clark's back in with another two questions. He wants to know, is there anybody in the WWE that you didn't work with that you would have loved to work with a major angle with?
Yeah, man, I want to work with Jamie Noble. I think me and Jamie would have had some really good matches. I think Jamie's one of the best in the world right now, and it would have been fun working with Jamie. You know, Rey Mysterio too, since Rey Mysterio was like my idol growing up and whatnot. That would have been fun too. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to work with some of those guys.
And another question is, now you're on the indie scene, you know, out there are many great indie workers. Is there anybody on your hit list that you'd love to work on the indie circuit?
Well, I'm looking forward to working maybe like Jerry Lynn. I think me and Jerry Lynn would be good. I'm looking forward to working with the Michigan guys again. You know, guys like Alex Shelley, guys like Jimmy Jacobs and Chris Sabin and Truth Martini who are just blowing up right now. You know, so I'm looking forward to working with those guys definitely.
What are your thoughts, would you say, on the angles that you did have in WWE? If you had to kind of put your favourite angle or storyline at the top and your least favourite at the bottom, which ones would they be?
Well, I only pretty much have three angles. That was me and Vince, me and Matt, and me and Brock. I'd say probably the funnest is me and Brock. You know, if you don't know me, like I like to bump around and make guys look like killers. You know, so me and Brock was fun. I mean, I enjoyed all three. I didn't dislike any of them. Me and Matt was real fun too, considering he's such an awesome worker. And I learned a lot from Matt. So, you know, I enjoyed, you know, all of my time I spent there.
William Gartner wants to know what you say to people who call you a, quote, novelty act.
I'm not offended by that. You know, there's some truth to that to some degree. You know, I can't, you know, disagree with that or whatever. But yeah, like, sure, the novelty's there. But like, at the same time, I am a professional wrestler, and I do get in a professional wrestling ring, and I do trade holds and whatnot. You know, so you know, once the novelty wears off, like the worker's still there, and that's what I like to show people.
Good stuff. A question coming in from a guy off the ProWrestling.com forums. He said online wrestling or a similar kind of source site. He read a story a couple of months before your actual release, saying apparently from you that if WWE were to release you, you'd sue them or something along those lines. Is there any truth to that?
Honestly, I've heard that too, and I have no idea where that came from. It's absolutely ludicrous, and people actually believe that. It's even more retarded. So I mean, I have no idea where that came from. There's no truth to that whatsoever.
Another question coming, kind of the same sort of lines. Apparently, another rumor that circulated about you on the internet source sites was that apparently you had an ego backstage and people found it impossible to deal with you. So, how do you refute that claim?
It's so dumb. I honestly don't get that. If anyone knows me, they know I don't have an ego at all. Like, why would I have an ego? You know what I'm saying? I'm 150 pounds. I have one leg. That's just retarded. I really don't know where this comes from.
After speaking with you a couple of times in the past, you know, week or whatever, I kind of read that question when it was submitted and just kind of laughed to myself. But I thought, you know, we'll put it to you anyway, and you know, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. People hear, like, maybe like somebody hears a story and they tell somebody else the story, and somebody tells somebody else the story, and like I guess it builds up or whatever. But honestly, there's no truth to that whatsoever.
If you were to put together a Best of Zach Gowen video, what would the 5 matches be on there?
5 matches. Well, I probably put my first match on there. I'm really proud of my first match. I'd like to put my TNA Dark match on there with me and Truth Martini. I think we tore it up pretty good there. I don't know. I'd probably put me and Matt on there. Probably me and Brock. I don't know. I've had so many matches I forgot about most of them. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really thought about it, but you know, some of them are good, some of them are not so good, and you know, and hopefully the best of Zach Gowen tape will come out, and it'll be good.
Now we're going to roll into some word associations. We'll mention a name, and you either give us your gut reaction to them. You can be a one-word answer, or if you have a story, feel free to share it.
Sure.
All right. The first name on the list is Randy Savage.
Randy Savage. I never met him, so I don't really know.
Have you heard his CD?
I haven't heard his CD actually. I've heard some guys talk about his CD though, but you know I've never met him. I haven't heard his CD. I really can't comment on him. You know, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
You said you have heard his CD. How about giving us a brief album review?
Oh, I haven't heard it actually.
Oh, haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard you then.
My friends have heard it, and they told me it was pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. I'd like to hear it.
Okay. How about Stephanie McMahon?
Stephanie's awesome, man. She's like probably the nicest, most down-to-earth girl I've ever met, you know, and she's very talented, and she's pretty as she is talented, you know, and she's really smart as well, so, you know, Stephanie's awesome, she's great.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan's great too, man. Like me and him went to a couple of strip clubs, you know, and he took me on a couple of nights out, and it was fun partying with Hogan, man, big time. And he's certainly my idol growing up, and it was fun while he was there.
Tajiri.
Fun to work with. He kayfabes his English skills, so the guy can speak perfect English, but if he doesn't like it, he'll start, you know, he'll speak broken English to you and whatnot. But the guy is a tremendous worker, and that me and Tajiri had one of my favorite matches I was in the WWE, so it was fun to work with him.
Truth Martini.
Truth Martini, probably the best, probably the best guy in the indie scene that people don't really know about. You know, the guy's been around for like 5-6 years, and he's certainly one of the best. Maybe not the best in Michigan. You know, one of the best in the states. And right now his neck's bothering him, but once that heals up, he'll be out, and people will definitely know who he is.
Hey Dan, why don't you take a couple of them?
Sure. Mike Sanders.
Mike Sanders. Oh, I hung out with him for 2 weeks down in TNA. The guy was cool, you know. I worked him. I worked him in the 6-man, I think, in my second week in TNA. Yeah. He was a cool guy. He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be. He looks a lot smaller on TV. He's a real big dude. Real nice guy.
B.T. James.
Probably one of the coolest people I met down in TNA. I was real intimidated, you know, talking to him and whatnot, but the guy was more than accommodating for our match, and you know, he let me shine a little bit, and you know, that was the match that WWE saw to get me signed, so, you know, I owe a lot to B.T. James.
Roddy Piper.
Who's that?
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper's awesome, man. The guy's out of his mind, though. Like his on-screen persona is like his off-screen, you know, it's the same guy, you know. So he was a lot of fun to hang out with, big time.
Roddy's just Roddy, huh?
Hell yeah, he was awesome.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett, again, you know, real nice. You know, you let me come on TNA. You offered me a contract when I was on TNA. You know, he let me shine, so to speak. So I got nothing but respect for him, and he's doing. I love his work. I've always liked his work. You know, he's doing a real good job down in Nashville.
And the final one that I've got for you is Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is cool, man. He was fun to work with. You know, the guy. People say that, you know, like the Big Show was telling me that he was like, Brock Lesnar's the strongest guy he's ever been in the ring with. You know, Show's been in the ring with everybody, you know, so I mean, that's a lot about Brock, you know, and the guy's definitely going to be a huge superstar coming up.
And
James, do you have any more you'd like to...
Sure, the final one I have for you is Vince McMahon.
Vince is ruthless. Like, he's such, I mean, people say Vince is a genius, and I have to agree, and he's such a good businessman as well, you know. Vince is definitely, you know, Vince is awesome. You know, he's real smart. He's really big too, man. The guy's like Ultimate Warrior size, so good for him.
You had mentioned a lot of your influences were some of the Hispanic and luchador stars. Have you ever seen the pay-per-view When Worlds Collide?
Yeah. Actually, I have with Art Barr and Ray's on there, Psychosis. It's definitely. What was it? Was that like '96? Was that in LA? '96 or something?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it a few years ago though, and it was. Was it '94?
'94. Yes, it was. '94, '93. I always thought it was '93, but everybody says '94. So.
Forgot to ask Alex Shelley for coming up with that date. Yeah, it was '94 when Worlds Collide. Art Barr does rule, and so it was definitely a turning point for luchadors coming to the States.
And a quick word association for you, Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley?
Yes.
Word association with Alex Shelley. Oh. What should I say? Asshole. He's an asshole, dude.
All right, yeah, we agree.
He's certainly a butthead, but sure he's a dick, but he's certainly one of the best up-and-comers in the States right now, and he's certainly probably the best technical wrestler in the States. So look out for him. I'd like to see Alex Shelley and Doug Williams go at it. That'd be my dream match.
Wow.
Oh, of course, yeah, Doug. Yeah, Doug's a former guest on the show, and he was in the ROH show and that. But excellent. Yeah, well, we really appreciate your time today. What was the website again? Just getting a plug out.
The website. You want to go to www.iwrwrestling.com to get info on the March 21st Brawl for Brackets in St. Andrews Hall show. My website is www.zwrestling.com. You can go on there and get all the info on Zach Gowen if you want. And that's about it.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate your time today. Good luck in the future, and good luck with all your future endeavors.
Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. It was fun.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Stay tuned for more from the Interactive Interview. Welcome back to the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com. I said courtesy of ProWrestling.com this time, Daniel.
You did. Excellent. Well done, James.
And guess what, Daniel?
Guess what, James?
We did it.
We did it.
We got him.
We got him.
We got him.
We did.
We're the first ones.
We are.
First.
Exactly. We know. It is definite. It is first and final. We are the first people to do an official audio interview with Zach Gowen after his WWE release.
We are the best.
Yeah, we are, definitely.
Everybody loves us.
It has to be said.
It's just, I am in awe of myself. I tell you, I look in the mirror sometimes, and I tell the mirror to stop looking at me. It's just, I'm just too good for everything. No, I'm just kidding.
What's up with this? We're uploading 2 interviews at the same time, of course. This one and the one with Sid. They're going up at the same time. And on the recap for the one with Sid, I'm the one that loves myself, and yet on the recap for this one, you're the one that loves yourself.
Well, pretty soon we're going to love each other. Hopefully not.
That one shocked me a tiny bit.
Okay, so we just finished up with Zach Gowen. What'd you think?
He's a funny guy. He's such a nice guy. We've spoken to him quite a bit over the past week or whatever. But
helping him out getting bookings and such as well.
Yeah, whatever. But he's such a nice guy. He really genuinely is. And the claims about an ego, well, obviously slightly hesitant when I called him for the first time because, you called him once and I called him once. But slightly, not hesitant as such, but just, heard the rumours, etc., etc. And just one conversation with him makes you realise that the rumours couldn't have been true.
What it probably was, sorry to cut you off, but what it probably was some fan met him. And he was probably asking him for an autograph, and he was doing 10,000 things, and he couldn't drop everything he was doing. And the fan probably went on his website or the internet and said, "What an ego this bastard has!" And it just probably ballooned into something huge, and it shouldn't have been.
Exactly. So, I can't see how someone could say he's got an ego. I really can't. I obviously haven't met the guy. I hope to meet him when he comes over to the UK at some point this year. But
Gee, I wonder what show that'll be on.
I don't know. He's on a couple.
Nah.
I can't, say.
Legal reasons keep you from preventing saying names.
Less kind of legal reasons, more kind of if I say the name of the show and not a different show, because he's announced for one, but he's not announced for another. So if I say the one that he's announced for, then the one that he's not announced for, say, well, why didn't you say he's announced for us? And then if I say that he's announced for both, the other show will say, but you said he's announced for us and we haven't announced him yet. You see, the bind that I'm in is immense. So.
Aww.
And he's not only like a nice guy, but he's a funny guy as well.
Yes, he had a very good sense of humor. And I was taken back. I was like, what? When he said that he never actually met Hogan before then. I was like, what?
I never thought that either. I thought it actually kind of made sense, you know.
Mm.
But Mike Tenay, his trick was again very, very inventive and very, you know, clever, because that was a long time before, you know, TNA and Hogan were going to hook up. So obviously that's just.
Why would he put over though Hogan? I mean, ultimately that made Hogan seem even better, and Hogan was still wrestling for the WWE at the time.
Strange, but then by the same token, it adds background and character to Zach. So you know, gave them something to work with, I suppose. And you know, Mike suggested it. You know, used it. It worked, and even worked him for an angle. You know,
in the WWE.
Exactly.
I bet the WWE. How much you want to bet if we called Vince McMahon right now?
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I wish we could.
Mm.
But if we ever called Vince McMahon and asked him if he knew that story was not true, you think he'd be surprised?
I think he'd either be surprised or he'd say, "Of course I know it's not true because I made it up."
He would take credit for it, huh?
Yeah, one or two. He'd do one or two, definitely. But and can I just say, like Big Country on the 3SW forums, he does this thing. It's like a parody news report kind of thing, and he's done 5 of them now. And his 5th one, I've got to recommend it. It's in the creative writing folder on 3swforums.com, the official forums of this show. I just add that, and it is really, really inventive and funny. And he did a parody on me where he kind of turned me into Daniel McEdler. Etc., etc. But I found it really funny. Can't give you the exact link because it would be, you know, extremely long. But just check it out. It really
go to 3swforums.com. Click down to the creative writing folder.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the featured item right at the moment, which means it's the last part that somebody posted in, click the creative writing folder and find the title. I don't even know if you said the title.
It's called the Ring Rat.
The Ring Rat.
Yeah. Ring Rat, R-A-T-E.
Ring Rat, okay.
So, but yeah, really fun.
I've known a couple of ring rats.
See, I know the play on words, and I figured you'd pick up on it, so that's why I didn't pick up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
ring rats, yes.
Anyway, we're recording this, of course, Zach Gowen interview.
By the way, did you know that ring rats was actually the initial name for Wrestling Vixens?
No, I did not.
It was.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. They were going to call themselves the Ring Rats, and then they said, well, that sounds a little bit too degrading to us, so we'll change it to Wrestling Vixens.
Oh, improvement.
So, tell me, who knows it all?
You do, James.
Yay! I know everything about wrestling porn.
Well done. Wrestling porn, interesting. But of course, we're recording this Zach Gowen interview, I'd say about half an hour before No Way Out starts.
Yep. I can't wait for No Way Out.
Quick predictions.
All right, read the rundown for me, because you had to tell me online earlier there's a pay-per-view on tonight, and I'm like,
yes.
There is?
Yeah. James said, okay, I'll try and, arrange the Zach Gowen interview sometime tonight. I said, well, obviously it would have to be in the next hour and a half, James, because, you know, with No Way Out at 1 o'clock, my time, and everything. Right. And he said, there is? How embarrassing, I see. But, right, just run through the 3 main matches. The rest of the card's pretty dire. Not dire, but not significant in the slightest. So I'll run through the top matches. Third match, in importance, starting from lower to top, is Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero.
I'd like to see Chavo get it. I think Mysterio's starting to play himself out. I think, once you see the 619 619 times, you get a little tired of it. So, yeah, I think it's time for something new. I think Chavo should hold the title.
I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio to win it, although I'd like to see Chavo win it.
Okay.
But, they're looking to set up a gimmick battle, not a gimmick battle royal, but a battle royal for the title at WrestleMania, apparently a 10-man, which should be quite interesting and a good way of getting a lot of the wrestlers, a payoff,
right.
WrestleMania payoff.
As opposed to holding, the tag team titles off the show so you can make room for horrible music acts.
Yeah.
Right.
Or for people hitting, girls hitting people with pillows.
Yes, stupid things like that. Yes. Well, it's good. It's called WrestleMania, so let's wrestle.
Yeah. Well, they said that they tried to wrestle, they just glowed instead. But, yeah.
Aw.
So that's the third most important, like you could say, match on the card. Second most, arguably, obviously, is the triple threat match between Big Show, John Cena, and Kurt Angle, with the winner going on to WrestleMania 20 to wrestle the WWE Champion.
It's not going to be Big Show.
No.
It's...
Why do you think that? Come on, back up your theory. Come on.
Well, I like Big Show, but I think at this point in his career, as you said last time, they're not going to push him right now. Honestly, if I had to choose between those three, I would pick Big Show. I like him the best of the three. If I was to guess, and I know, I hate to say this, but it's going to be John Cena.
See, now I disagree. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to set up Big Show versus John Cena at WrestleMania for the US title, in which John Cena will capture the US title, in my opinion. And I think that it will be Kurt Angle that will win the triple threat. So the reason that we're going to next is that, of course, the main event, as we spoke and mentioned to Zach about, the main event is Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar. Zach went for Eddie Guerrero, and I have to agree. I think it's going to be Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania.
I would be very surprised, and pleasantly so, if Eddie Guerrero wins this match. I don't see it happening, simply because Eddie is just such a smaller guy compared to Brock. But I love Eddie Guerrero. I think he's one of the best workers in the business today. I will not say he's the best. I think Jerry Lynn's still the best. But he's up there as one of the best workers in the business today. He's been around forever. He's worked his ass off. And I've just thought, he's really a tough worker. So I think maybe it could be his time. And the thing is, he's been one of the guys, the people from the beginning of it saying, well, Triple H is holding this belt for so long. Well, why doesn't he give the belt to somebody like Eddie Guerrero or Rob Van Dam or one of these high-flying guys? And, maybe since Triple H is not on SmackDown, this will be beneficial for like Eddie Guerrero to get a title.
I reckon, I seriously think it's going to be Eddie, and so, but it works either way. That's the magic of this main event, because no matter whether you put it on Eddie, it'll work.
See, now, I don't think it would be a good idea. I don't think it would be a good idea to make it Brock Lesnar against Kurt Angle again.
I think that either way, it would turn around somehow. It wouldn't.
Well, they could promote it. They could promote it by showing clips of last year's WrestleMania, but I've never really been a fan of repeat main events in a WrestleMania. It's like Rock and Austin. Like when they did that 3 times, that's just too much.
There's no way that it will be anything other than Goldberg versus Brock. But I'm just saying that it could work either way, because the way, they could...
That's a good point. You just made a good point, and I don't think you made that point clear before.
Didn't I?
No, Brock is going to have to wrestle Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
So Brock is not going to be the champion if the winner of this match... Yeah, good point. Eddie Guerrero might win it tonight.
See?
You make a good point.
Not just a pretty face.
Aw. Well, I've never actually seen your face.
No, but I'm not just a pretty face, trust me. As I'm playing with my hair and my reflection. My limit in that hair. Yeah. But yep, so that's what I think on the top 3. There's kind of a couple of other matches, like Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty against the Bashams, and...
Oh my god.
Nydia in a blindfold match.
Who against Nydia?
Damien Noble.
In a blindfold match?
Yeah, Damien Noble's blindfolded, Nydia isn't. And I think their other rumoured match was Bob Holly against Rhino, which would be a stiff fest. But...
Wow, this is just... Wow.
So maybe don't listen. I mean, because obviously when you listen to this show, it's a certainty that No Way Out will have finished by this time. So this is, I promise you, being recorded before No Way Out, and we're not cheating, after sitting here recording it at like 4 a.m. my time when it was finished, but it's being recorded just before No Way Out.
Wow.
In about 20 minutes.
That's gonna... Wow.
You can check out, by the way, you can check out the results on 3strandwrestling.com main page, in case you haven't checked them out yet.
And you can discuss the results on 3swforums.com.
Exactly. And,
Hey, Dan, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you receive Sid, you'll hear my announcer voice come through. And I've been doing it a lot lately. Talking like this. Really deep and pronounced.
And why's that, James?
Because when I do the echo effect, I think it sounds good. What do you think of this voice? Should I do this? Should I do this all the time? Say, Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com. I'm James Walsh, and as always by Daniel Edler with our special guest, Zach Gowen.
No, two reasons. First of all, you sound like Loki. Second of all, you sound like Vince Russo.
I have that.
Sense. You sounded like you kind of slurred your words kind of a bit. So it doesn't really,
I have, well, maybe the New York accent comes out like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that and the fact that you really do sound like Loki as well.
All you can do is be ready.
Well, I'm ready for No Way Out, and we said we're going to keep this one short and like 3 hours long.
Well, here.
So we'll actually keep this one short. It's going to be good.
Well, I want to also point this out, though. Even if you have trouble hearing Sid, if you have to fast forward, do so, but try to listen through it because you can hear Sid at points. It's really worth listening to. If you don't listen to the interview, please listen to the recap because the recap is really long and really good, and it's really got a lot of funny spots in it.
And wrestling talk, lots of wrestling.
And wrestling talk, but I had a couple good lines in there that I was very happy that I heard when I heard it just a couple minutes ago.
Excellent.
Favorite one was, I'm not a fan of women's wrestling as a whole, and I had a pretty funny line in there, so, yeah.
Excellent. Well, of course, Sid's going up at the same time as this, our two big interviews going up once, because this is our main show, and Sid is on our road to our 1-year anniversary show. We put up 3 interviews. We're going to put up 3 interviews in a row. First was Bob Ryder, which went up on Friday. Second was Sid, which obviously is going up today, Monday.
Bob Ryder and Fry, 2 words that go together like a horse and carriage.
And third of all, will be Johnny Swinger will be going up Wednesday of this week, probably Wednesday, Thursday of this week, so around that sort of time. We're recording a couple of interviews on Tuesday night with Kevin Sullivan. Who's the other one, James?
Marty Jannetty.
That's the one, Kevin Sullivan and Marty Jannetty. And then on Wednesday, we have Mr. Cat Miller scheduled. So hopefully we'll get those done and get them online as soon as possible. But obviously our main priority is to get next online, either next or the one after, depending on how the road to it goes, is our interview with our 1-year anniversary specialist, the franchise.
Shane Douglas.
Please do it, please do it. The franchise, Shane Douglas.
Jackass. Okay.
Listen to Sid and other shows.
And you might understand what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, please.
Probably not, but
Probably not, no.
But yeah. Okay, well, I heard this song on the radio yesterday. The album does not come out till March 9th, but it's getting promotion, and I think they got a hit on their hands. And honestly, when I first heard it, the first thing I thought about was My Life. But then when I thought about it more, especially the chorus part, I thought this could kind of fit on the Zach Gowen interview. This is a new song by Tesla, one of my favorite bands, actually. A friend of mine actually is good friends with them, but they're a band from my genre. Anyway, new album coming out March 9th. This song is called Caught in a Dream.